Congratulations! We hope you're watching this video because you used your visitor visa's application process, you watched our videos to prepare for the interview, and your B1, B2 visa was approved. Now it's time for you to come to the United States. To enter the US, you have to pass through customs. As crazy as this may sound, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, can deny you entry to the United States even if you have a visitor visa in hand. Even if you have told the truth and have done everything right, you can still be denied entry to the U.S. Because of this, you need to be prepared for the questions you will receive from the Customs and Border Protection officer who processes your paperwork to grant you entry into the United States. First things first, have your passport in hand. You want to be ready to go when you get to the front of the line to make the jobs of the customs officers easy. This is always the goal. From the interview at the consulate to the interview at the border or airport, you want to make it fast and easy for them to deal with you. You may even want to have the passport open on the visa page, so it is easy for them to process your entry. You don't want to be searching for your passport right when you need to speak with the officer. This just annoys them, wastes time, and can even make them suspicious. You should also have your round-trip ticket information available. Have a printout of your full ticket information on hand so you can show it in case they ask for it. At a minimum, you should know the departure date and flight information of your return flight. Presenting a ticket, however, is the best practice. When the officer asks how long you are staying in the United States, you need to be able to answer this question with certainty, giving accurate information. In the United States, we are very date-oriented and generally want an exact amount of time. Whatever the length of your trip, it should match the information you gave the consular officer at the time of your interview. You do not want a mismatch of such information. You should be able to provide the name of the person and the address of the place where you are staying when asked. Whether it's a hotel, Airbnb, a friend's or family member's house, you should be able to tell the officer quickly and easily where you are staying and provide the address if requested. Remember our 5 most common mistakes video? One of the biggest mistakes people make both in the consulate and at the customs is they give way too much information. They talk way too much. This is especially true when someone is asked about the purpose of the visit. The officer wants to know whether it is for business or pleasure. The best way to respond is to say either of the 2 words, business or pleasure. If the officer wants more details, she will ask. If she asks, what will you do in the U.S. for pleasure? Give a concise answer as short as possible. For example, you can say, go to Disney, visit my uncle, see the leaves changing in Vermont. Again, if the officer wants to know more, she will ask you. Most of the time, they want to keep things moving along. You need to be short and concise, and to say the same thing you said when you applied for the B1, B2 visa. If you have a boyfriend or girlfriend in the U.S., be prepared to answer more questions. The officer can ask you if you plan to propose, get married, and other related questions. They may assume you are planning on staying in the U.S. If you have anything that can prove that you will return to your country, such as an employment contract, proof of school enrollment, etc., it may be a good idea to have that on hand. You should also be prepared to answer very specific questions about your relationship. Are you coming here to get married? Will you propose? Or do you think he/she will propose? Are you going to stay in the U.S. longer than your visa allows to be with your girlfriend/boyfriend? It is critical you make it clear that your intent is to merely visit the United States and then return to your home country. You do not want the officer to think that you are coming to get married and stay in the United States. You must show you are coming to the U.S. for a very specific reason and for a very specific amount of time, and that you will be leaving. This is, in essence, what you have done when you applied for the visa at the consulate. They may ask about your job and your employer. You should be able to tell your occupation and the name of your employer and provide the contact information for your employer if asked. They may ask about your family ties in the U.S. Do you have family living in the United States? Even if you are not coming to the U.S. to visit those family members, you need to answer honestly. This includes cases of family members living in the United States unlawfully. You must answer this question truthfully. If they ask you about your family members in the U.S. whom you do not plan to visit, you can say something like, yes, I do have an aunt in Florida, but I'm not going to visit her. I am going to go see the Golden Gate Bridge. If you are going to see them, be sure you are able to provide an address if requested, which most likely they won't. Again, this is the case even if your family member is undocumented. The last thing you want is to tell a lie to the U.S. government under any circumstances. They could ask if you have been in the U.S. before. You must answer this truthfully, including if you have been in the U.S. unlawfully. No matter what, tell the truth. They have access to more records than you can imagine, and they can figure out things you did not ever think possible. We like to remind people that the United States has one of the most powerful governments in the world. If you act too nervous or seem as if you are dodging questions, they can take you into something called secondary inspection. And believe us, you do not want to be taken into secondary. It is very stressful. If things get bad in secondary inspection, you have no right to contact an attorney. Plus, they have the right to go through your belongings, including searching your phone and your computer. They can download everything off your phone and computer. They are looking for things such as proof that you will marry your partner, that you are coming to the U.S. to find a job, or anything else that will prove that you do not have visitor intent, meaning that your real intention to come to the U.S. is to stay there. This is critical to know because they are not on your side. They are not looking to help you. They are looking to prove you are lying. They are looking to see whether something is not as you say. You can be held in secondary from just a few minutes to several hours. This can make you miss your flights, and it may ruin your travel plans. It is awful. But no matter how bad it is best not to tell the officer how mad, annoyed, or angry you are. They have absolute and total power when you are in that room. And if you make them upset, they can keep you even longer just because they can. These officers are not your friends. They have to be there all day, so keeping you there makes no difference to them at all. As always, the most important thing is to be truthful, concise, and prepared. Listen closely to the questions and answer only what is asked. Check out all our other videos at yourvisitorvisa.com.